These are the most powerful and most advanced iPhones that we have ever built. The most popular smartphone in the world.
The best iPhones we've ever created.
And this is the worst iPhone ever created. This is a fake iPhone 14 Pro Max. Is it any good? Will it have the dynamic island? We don't know, but let's find out. Stick around to the end of this video to see me tear this phone down and take a look on the inside. What is that? This fake iPhone cost me $125 USD, and they made some pretty bold claims. They usually do this just because they don't want customs to seize the package. I'm willing to bet you guys $3 billion that there's an iPhone box in here. This is the moment of truth. Hopefully I didn't get scammed. Oh, there it is. Damn, that's actually really realistic. Not bad at all. So taking a look at the actual box, you can see that they did quite a good job. Everything is where it should be. The text has no spelling mistakes as far as I could see. We did search up the serial number, and lo and behold, it actually belongs to a real iPhone 14 Pro Max that still has an active warranty. So they hijacked this serial number. Whoever has the original serial number of this phone, I feel bad for you. There is a bit of dirt right there on the top, and for whatever reason, this box looks pretty dinged up, but it probably had a lot to do with it being shipped. Anyway, now that we've had a good look at the box, let's open this up. Flip the box over. This is a true test to see if they did a good job actually making this replica. Let's see if the box just drops on its own. And it does not. What the f***? Before I even touch this thing, they damaged it a little bit on that camera, and that is the actual real camera. The other two cameras are fake, but I must say they did an incredible job replicating those fake cameras. They even have a black dot for the LiDAR sensor. I'm impressed, but I haven't seen enough yet. Now let's take a look at the actual phone and the unboxing experience and see just how close it is to a real iPhone. They have a weird protector here on the power button. Never seen anything like this before. We'll remove the screen protector, and it looks like there's another screen protector under that screen protector. There's also a plastic seal around the edges. I'm not gonna lie though, this phone actually feels really good. For a fake, this might be the best one I've ever taken a look at. So this phone feels pretty heavy. It feels nice, honestly, which is something I never thought I'd say about a fake iPhone. It also takes lightning port. All the speaker holes are where they should be. Everything on the outside is almost identical. Aside from that SIM tray, it looks slightly off. The buttons too also feel a little bit off, but I don't know if the average person would even be able to tell that this is fake at all. We'll take a look at the box. Inside the box, we have the USB-C to lightning port charger that all iPhones come with. We also have the instruction manual. They never seem to nail this font. It's always slightly off. We have the SIM ejector pin and the instructions. We're gonna go ahead and boot this on. We have the Apple logo. So they claim that this is an OLED. I'm not so sure how accurate that is. There is definitely a chin down here. It's not as big as Thanos' chin, but it's still pretty big. And we have the iOS 15 hello screen. Interesting. Why am I impressed? Now that we have the phone on, we're gonna go outside, test the mic, camera, speakers, get a little bit of real world usage out of the phone, and let you guys know how good this phone actually is. So we're outside right now at the train tracks in beautiful Canada, Ottawa, Ontario. It's not cold today, which is very surprising, but we're just trying to use this fake iPhone 14 Pro, and the screen is just not bright enough for when the sun's out. So definitely a huge flaw. We're gonna be comparing it to an 11 Pro because I don't know, we just will. So we'll be taking 2 pictures on each device and showing you guys the difference. So first thing we noticed is that the fake iPhone 14 Pro only has 1 camera. There are different zoom modes, but it's only with 1 camera, so these 2 are fake. We already knew that. Next up, we're gonna be taking videos on both devices. I'm also gonna be speaking while I'm taking the video so we can get an audio test as well. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is the fake iPhone 14 outside. So they said that this phone has a 12 megapixel camera, which that's cap. There's no way. Now, the moment you guys have all been waiting for, let's take a look at that software. So as you can see, the lock screen is not the greatest. It does resemble that of a real iPhone, but things like the fonts are off. The no SIM card is looking very different from what a normal iPhone would look like. If we swipe over here, we have the same widget center that iPhones usually have. If we click on the maps, that leads us straight to Google Maps. I'm really hoping people don't get scammed, and that's part of the reason I make these videos. If we head over into settings, surprisingly, if we hit battery, this phone actually shows the battery health. Now, I'm assuming this is completely fabricated and doesn't actually monitor the phone's battery health, but it's kind of crazy that it is actually here. I know most of you guys just want to see the dynamic island, but we'll leave that to the end of this segment. Something that I found kind of funny was if we go here and search the compass, the level actually works, which surprised me, but the compass is not compassing. So if you're planning on buying a fake iPhone 14 Pro Max and you're stranded on an island and you need a compass, this phone's not for you. We'll head over to the App Store and see what surprises lie within. That's pretty cool. As you can see, the App Store does kind of resemble what an iPhone's App Store would look like. However, this App Store does not connect to Apple's App Store. It's actually a remade version of the Google Play Store, just to kind of fit the narrative that this is a real iPhone 14 Pro Max. So if you guys have seen these fake iPhone videos before, you know that there's usually weird wallpapers, weird pictures in the Photos app. They just leave them there and they're pre-installed with the device. Let's see if this phone has it. We'll head to Photos. Oh my God. They're here again. Who's doing this? Always. Why are these here? There's also a weird K-pop video. It's not weird, but I just don't understand why it's here. Of course. I don't know if that'll get me demonetized, but we're gonna leave. Now it's time to take a look at the highlight of this device, the dynamic. Okay, we're gonna have to let the phone charge a little bit, but we did take a look at a real iPhone 14 Pro and compare the dynamic island from this device to the real iPhone 14 Pro. It totally wasn't at Costco. So comparing the phones side by side, it's impressive how similar they look. The dynamic island is pretty much exactly where it should be, and other than the front-facing camera, it's very convincing. The quality of the screen and camera does not come close to matching the real iPhone, but the dynamic island is surprisingly dynamic. Now it's time to take a look at the inside of this fake iPhone 14 Pro Max and see if the company that made this device's claims are actually true. So they claim that this device has an OLED display, which I don't think is true, a MediaTek 67XX processor. I'm assuming the XX stands for placeholders. It could be 67 number and number. They kind of left it open to interpretation. They're also claiming that the front camera has 8 megapixels, the rear camera has 13 megapixels, which would be hard to verify. They're also claiming that the battery capacity has 2,000 to 2,499 milliamp hours. I don't know what that means. Why can't they give us a specific number? Maybe they're using random batteries, who knows? They also claim that the display refresh rate is 90 hertz, which I can tell you right now is not true at all. These phones typically open up from the back, despite having 2 pentalobe screws at the bottom. These are just for show. So what we have to do is something we've never done before in our life. Cook the fake iPhone 14 Pro Max. While the fake iPhone 14 Pro Max is cooking, I don't know if you guys heard, but Turkey and the surrounding countries just experienced a seriously devastating earthquake. So if you guys want to donate, I'll leave a link in the description in the comments. Anything helps, honestly, and it would be very much appreciated. The fake iPhone 14 Pro Max is done cooking. We'll hit this with a pry, open it up. So the back glass just comes off. This piece is attached to a bracket that's holding everything down. We'll hit this phone with an unscrew. Taking things apart is tough. Losing screws is also tough. What's not tough is buying my repair mat from Amazon. It'll save you the trouble of losing your screws. If you don't buy it, screw you. Guys, if you're ever fixing electronics and you see a little sticker suspiciously placed, it's usually because there's a screw under there. It's a tamper sticker, preventing you from tampering with your devices. It basically lets repair people know if you've opened the device up. Thankfully, I am repair people. Now we can remove the bracket. So, like I suspected, these two are fake cameras. This is the real camera, and behind it is the front camera. And oddly enough, there is a slot for SD cards. but for whatever reason, they have covered it up. Even the battery is hard soldered, so repairing this would be an absolute nightmare. So we do actually have last year's 13 Pro Max over here. I can't say they did as good of a job as they did this year. There's definitely been improvements. You can see that they actually made changes to the camera. This camera looks a lot thicker and bigger than this camera. They use the same subboard. As you can see here, it says subscribe. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this video. But you can definitely see they do indeed have a MediaTek 67 series processor. As for their claims about being an OLED, you can definitely see that there's shadows around the edges over here, which clearly indicates that it is not an OLED. This is definitely an LCD. The brightness is nowhere near what's actually needed for day-to-day use, but aside from that, the resolution is actually decent. This battery has a 10.1 watt hour rating. So if we use the watt hour and voltage to calculate the milliamp hours, we get 2,623. For whatever reason, they said 2,000 to 2,499 milliamp hours. My knowledge about batteries is kind of spotty, but their claims are more or less accurate, if not a little bit undervalued. But overall, honestly, huge improvement with these fake devices. The processing power, the display, this was absolute garbage. This is just garbage. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell button, and let me know what you guys want me to do in the next video. I'll see you later.